Now, Samarth, how are we doing? World Sim Series Hourly MX5 Cup. Season 1 for me, race 3. This is done immediately after race 2 that I did. Pretty much immediately anyway. I got about 10 minutes worth of free practice in, and I improved by about a second over my best from the previous race. In here we have Nivaldo Amaya again. Recognised name. I don't recognise any of the other names. Anyway, so 3 seconds worth of practice. I still went out and I still practiced. Qualies, there was a random ping-ing, and I never actually managed to set a time. I had a great lap on. I was about a second a lap faster than I was anticipating being, and then a random pinger pinged backwards, and then halfway behind me and sent me flying. Apparently that was also one of my incidents. Tell me how. I don't know. I didn't do anything about it. Anyway, the fastest lap in the previous race was 2:28, and it was well within 2:28 as well. The fastest here 2:30. So the field's a little bit slower. Given that I was practicing on 2:33. Yep, 2:33. If I'd have actually taken that time in, I'd have started second. So I looked at this race and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to podium here. I'm going to podium. So here comes that race. Here we go. Fuck off, you idiots. Fucking bloody hellfire. Can't blame anyone else for that. Not respecting the fact that tyres were cold. No, I'm definitely not going to get second, that's for sure. Nivaldo Mayer's been kicked. Vroom. feeling kind of queasy now, which is kind of annoying because I'm making ground. That's maybe a little slow through there actually. Using the track for stopping markers is, or braking points I should say, is kind of difficult because I don't have the resolution to make them out until last minute. So I'm trying to opt for another marker on the side of the track there. Should have been in fifth a long time ago there. Not concentrating. Trying to carry a bit more speed around that corner and trying it on the power right about the same time. Seemed to be okay. Oh my god, he's fucking pinging. Hopefully my exit speed was higher there, that was the idea, and I should hopefully catch him by the end of this straight. Alright, slow down a little too much. You were well faster than me on that corner, mate. You should have definitely taken that wide, and you should still have the place. minutes 32 remain. Right, I'm on 5th. On 5th. In 5th. Could have done that a little better. That corner doesn't reveal itself right until the last minute. It's a massive pain in the ass. Ah, too fucking quick, Jesus. Or perhaps the tyres have cooled off somehow. But I'm pretty sure it's just too quick. But keeping heat in the tyres is proving to be tricky. So we are way behind third. I'd quite like a podium if I could. What's my fastest? Second lap slower than the others. Oh my god, 2:28. Jesus. Excusez-moi. You know, a really good driver might probably be able to do that in third instead of second. The extra engine braking you get from second is fairly useful, but the additional speed you can carry in third, much more useful. Please don't spin. Please don't spin. Don't hit shit. As you might be able to tell, I am pushing. Because, like, if third place makes a mistake, I want to fucking catch him. I wasn't very fast. Oh, I wasn't able to stay on fucking power either. Ooh, Jean-Philippe Casabuba, he's just gone purple. Very, very purple. He's quite good at this track and this car. Greg has fucked off. So what was that lap? 2:34. Really? It was my fastest 2:34, but still. I need to get close to that. I might try this corner in third. Roughly the same braking point. Slightly earlier. Oh, not quite. Nah, second. It's right at the top end of second, but with how low down you'd have to go to, well, it's midway on second, but you get back up to top end of second very quickly. Could have done that much better. To be fair though, I mean, third hasn't made a mistake as yet, and I don't want to make myself have a mistake in order to get there. I have caught up. I was 37, now I'm 24, so 7 seconds. But at this point that's insufficient. I'd love to be able to do that corner in fourth. You might be able to. Oh, the woozy in my mind is making me lose where I am on track. I forget what corner I'm going in. Oh shit. Now I should say Novaldo wasn't kicked left for any reason, whatever reason. I don't know whatever reason. Anyway, yeah, span coming out of T2 really. Actually, I think I called it T1 last time, but I think it's T2 actually. Cold tyres, no traction, and went on the dirt. And I wasn't on the power, I was trying to save it, but I was unable to save it. Right, so I was doing 234s reliably, but I wasn't getting into 233s. Our fastest 234.1 at the end of the race. And again, evidence for the fact that I was getting faster towards the end of the race, I was finding more confidence. I was very aware of the fact that I'd spun once in the race, and I couldn't afford to spin again, otherwise I'd lose position. Also, I was chasing podium. So all the time whilst I was pushing less in order to not spin. Yeah, again, for the Jean-Philippe Cazor getting a 228, I'm way off that pace. I'm 6 seconds a lap off that pace, and Greg Nocco, who left because the race had finished. I didn't realise we were on the last lap there. 230s. I reckon I can get down to 230. It'll take a bit of practice, but I reckon I can get down to 230s. I'm competitive with third place though, but I came ultimately fourth. 12 points. 12 series points. At the end of the next race, I'll show you actually where I am in the rankings of where other people are. You might recognise other faces. We weren't catching Alejandro. I have no idea. Yeah, there were 20 seconds ahead of us when I first looked, and there were 21 seconds ahead of us over the line there. So I was matching their pace, but I would needed to have kept matching their pace next to them in order to get anywhere near third place. And second was a dream. Clearly, those guys hadn't managed to qualify properly. Instance 2, I don't remember exactly where they were. There was that one that was very tight. As I was, there was 3 of us going along. I don't know if there was an incident there, but I assume the first spin would have been one of those incidents anyway. So again, encouraged for the fact that it is worth my time to do this. I'm not like just a rubbish office geezer that's got a sim rig at home and is still 10 seconds a lap slower than anybody else. I'm able, with more practice, to be genuinely competitive towards the higher end, I do believe. I'll stick with MX5 for now as I hone my racing knowledge. But I've got probably about 15 hours in the game so far. I assume those guys have got more like 1,500. We'll see how we go. Anyway, stay tuned for the third of the races I do today. In a bit.